Welcome back for another video. It's Ronnie, real estate agent licensed in DC and Maryland, and I'm here to answer a question that is very common, one that I get emails about all the time, and that is, what happens if you get too much down payment assistance or closing cost assistance from a seller? Now, it's very common, for example, the MMP program, for them to send too much money to the lender for a buyer that's purchasing a home. Now, there's a saying in the world, if you don't use it, then you'll lose it. So when it comes to down payment assistance, and in this example, we're referring to the MMP, whatever money that you do not need is sent back to the state of Maryland. However, if you are working with a very savvy team of lenders and real estate agents like myself, we have ways of using the excess funds so that they don't have to get sent back to the state of Maryland. Now, of course, the funds are meant to cover your down payment, but they can also be used for other things. So in a recent closing that I had with a buyer, we used some of the excess funds to buy a really fancy and expensive home warranty for that buyer. So this is just an example of the excess of funds and how they can be used for more than just your down payment. Now, let's talk about closing costs. So if a seller, for example, gives you 4% and you have an FHA loan, which only allows for 3% to come from the seller, that 1% can be used to, for example, buy down your rate. Something that's very popular right now are rate buy downs. You know, the average rate buy down is around 1%. So you can reduce your interest rate with the extra money. But again, you have to have a savvy lender and a team that understands and that has done this in the past. Now, of course, I've saved the best for last, and I get this question a lot. Some people want to know how they can get a check at the closing table from the excess funds. Now, this happens rarely. It's the exception, but not the rule, because a lot of times the money is either sent back to the state if it's down payment assistance, or it's sent back to the seller if it is closing cost assistance. But depending on the assistance and depending on the seller, sometimes this money can be given back to you as an excess in the form of a cashier's check at the closing table when you show up to sign for your new home. So I hope that this is something that helps people. I get this question a lot. And of course, as a buyer, you should understand what's going on. And if you're working with a lender, these are some things that you may want to bring up to your lender, just in case in the event, you know, you receive information and you get too much money. This money can be allocated in different ways. And these are just some ideas of how you can allocate this money, how your lender can allocate this money. And it's best for you to also know what is going on behind the scenes with this process. Again, it's Ronnie, real estate agent licensed in DC and Maryland. And I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and feel free to drop any questions down below, and I'll get back to you with the answer. Thanks for watching.